Larry, where is your Cabernet? That's Cabernet. Is that Cabernet Franc or Cabernet Sauvignon? Cabernet Sauvignon. Everywhere? Every aisle? Larry, where's your Merlot? Everywhere. Where's your Chardonnay? Well, that's a loaded question. Where's your Pinot Grigio? That's also a loaded question. If I say everywhere, I look like an idiot, right? I mean, look like I'm a wise guy. But it's really true. It's in every aisle. And that's what we want to talk about. Hi, I'm Larry Baker. I am a certified sommelier with the Court of Master Sommeliers here in South Florida. And talking to you on, I'm recording this on Valentine's Eve. I hope you had a wonderful spread the love, shared some time with your loved ones on Valentine's Day, and drank some good wine. And I'm here in the home studio in Florida. So I'm real particular. Maybe I'm a little pesky, but I'm not snobby. I just believe that, like, if Neil Diamond sang a song, and, like, let's say Red Red Wine. Maybe that's not a good example, but maybe I'm a believer that the Monkees recorded. I like hearing Neil Diamond sing it because he's the original. And when people come in and they talk about grapes and they say, where's your Pinot Grigio? I don't mean to be ridiculous, but really there is Pinot Grigio, which is the grape Pinot Gris, G-R-I-S, not Gris. Pinot Gris is what in Italian is Pinot Grigio. They are one and the same grape. And American style blends it. And have you ever noticed when you ask for these grapes that they didn't sound like if you're Latino or Latina and you're speaking Spanish, or if you're speak Italian and maybe you speak Portuguese, when you ask for, or English, just English, when you say for Cabernet Sauvignon, does that sound like it's part of your language? Does that sound like you're speaking Spanish? Does it sound like you're speaking English? I would like a Cabernet Sauvignon. Just look how it's spelled. C-A-B-E-R-N-E-T. Looks like Cabernet. That's why a lot of people learning English say Cabernet. Where's your Cabernet? Where's your Merlot? Because it looks like Merlot, but it's pronounced Merlot. So, what language are we speaking here? Well, we're speaking French. So not all grapes. I mean, so many countries have indigenous grapes, but I believe, not that, I love Washington State wines, and I love their Tempranillos, which is a Spanish grape, and I love their Bordeaux blends. I love their Syrah, which is also a French grape, Syrah, and Australians make Shiraz. But I believe before that you should go and branch out and try the American expression or the Argentine expression of the grape, you should decide to have the original first before you would advance upon it. You should have a USDA choice steak, or before you go into USDA prime, before you go into Kobe, before you whether or not decide I like eggs. Maybe if you have an egg, you should maybe try a sunny side up egg before you start scrambling, before you start adding ingredients, before you start making frittatas. You see? So a good large percentage, almost all a percentage of the grapes that we drink and that we ask for, we don't really know. We've never had the grape in its original state and form and its original expression from the places they came from. And that's my point. And I can say that when you ask for a Chardonnay, I can send you to 15 different aisles in a store, in a retail store. If you're looking on a menu, I could send you to 15 different spots on the wine list and looking for Chardonnay because they're Argentina make Chardonnay. Maybe Oregon has under Oregon White could be Chardonnay, and California makes Chardonnay, and Australia makes Chardonnay, great Chardonnay from the Margaret River or the Limestone Coast. I mean, everybody makes Chardonnay, so the answer really is, where's your Chardonnay? But people somehow think that the American, the California, mostly, I want to know where your Chardonnay is, I want to know where your Cabernet is, I want to know where your Pinot Noir is, and all these words, Pinot Noir, P-I-N-O-T, that sounds like Pinot, N-O-I-R, no ear, Pinot, no ear, but it's Pinot Noir, Pinot Noir, because we're speaking French. So we should drink all grapes before we even decide to branch out in other places from where they originated, and most of them are France, with a few exceptions like indigenous grapes like Torrontés from Argentina, a white grape. Sangiovese is all about Italy before we drink Washington State, where there's some beautiful Sangiovese. There's many grapes that started in other areas. Before we drink Vermentino from Italy, maybe we should try Rolle, Roll, roll, and see if we like the French version of what that Italians call Vermentino in Sardinia. And for example, I have so many people who don't know this fact, and they will tell you, man, I love a really good Chablis or Chablis. They'll love a Chablis. And you get the other example. I have a perfect example of this. I wasn't at work, and a younger person that works with me who's not a wine expert at all, just an associate that I work with. Early in the morning, some person who really wanted Chablis, he took them to the big jug wine section, the 3-liter section, and he said, we only have 3. And they said, what kind of wine store is that? You only have 3-liter jug wines that come from California, Chablis. I want Chablis. He said, sorry, that's all we got. But yet the entire Burgundy section, because that's the region in France, the Burgundy section has like 7, 8, 9, 10 Chablis, because Chablis is a village. It's a village in Burgundy, France, and guess what? The grape, and unfortunately this one says it because these are my good friends Celine and Frederic from Domingue again, but this Chablis is from a Premier Cru vineyard, but they have to put the grape on the back of the bottle, which you can't see from here, but it will tell you cépage, which means grape. It's 100% Chardonnay. That's the majority grapes of Burgundy. White Burgundy is a white wine from the Burgundy region of France and the birthplace of Chardonnay. So before you go around asking for other countries or where's your Chardonnay section, why aren't you trying at $13 or $15 or $20 an actual 100% Chardonnay in its purest form, the way it was supposed to be made, before you decide whether you even like the grape? Don't move on to Pinot Noir, because that's the red grape of Burgundy. Don't be drinking California, Oregon, everything blended stuff, 100% Chilean Pinot Noir. How about you just have the original Pinot Noir and just buy a $10, $15 bottle of Pinot Noir, a Bourgogne red, $20. Try that. See what Pinot Noir, the original Pinot Noir, is supposed to taste like before you start deciding whether other expressions. If you're going to drink Pinot Grigio, why not have a Pinot Gris from Alsace, France, on the border of France and Germany? Alsace is great. It's a richer style. It's an off-dry style for the most part. And then you can decide whether you like the grape. I could really like a Pinot Gris, which in Italian, again, is Pinot Grigio, before you go to California having blended Pinot Gris. You start to buy like grapes, and you don't even know if you really like that grape, because you're having all that 75% we talked about the other day. Start off with the original and build from there. Before you go into whole wheat bread, try white bread first. Before you go into 15 grains, try 1 grain first. Try whole wheat. And then try ones with other grains, and then 15 grains, and decide if you like it. Before you add butter to popcorn, just have popcorn by itself. You get the drift. So, the originals, here, somebody would say, I like a sparkling Chardonnay. Something, a sparkling Chardonnay, just 100% Chardonnay. Well, with bubbles in it. And they buy something from California because it says 100% Chardonnay, right? Well, I don't want champagne. Why not champagne? This one particularly is 60% Chardonnay and 40% Pinot Meunier, but one of the main grapes in Champagne, from Champagne, France, is Chardonnay. So if you haven't had the original, you buy a Blanc de Blanc, which is usually 100% Chardonnay. Why not buy the champagne before you buy some California sparkling Chardonnay? Why not have champagne? Because that's what's in a Blanc de Blanc, is Chardonnay. And before. So again, Chardonnay, I would tell you, why are you asking for $50, $60, $70 bottles of blended Chardonnay and vanilla and buttery and oaky before you can taste in its purest form, even Chablis, unoaked, no oak, stainless steel, fermented from fossilized oyster shells soil from the town of Chablis. Try yourself, you're spending. This bottle probably costs $25 before you go out and buy a $50 and all those covering up with oak and high alcohol and vanilla and all that style, which is okay if you like it, and all those butter bombs we call them, and everything, butter kiss, butter this, butter jet, bread and butter, this butter, vanilla, butter. That's a whole different style. Why not just taste Chardonnay in its purest form and see if you like the grape? And then move on from there. And then maybe try a Chardonnay from Australia. But first, have the original. That's what it's all about. I think that's what we need to do. And when you ask for those grapes before you start branching off, say, I would like to have an original Cabernet Sauvignon. So where is the original Pinot Noir? Wait, I would take you to the Burgundy section. People say, I want a Bordeaux blend. Well, Cabernet Sauvignons in America, 75% rule. They're going to have Bordeaux grape varietals, Merlot, Malbec, Cabernet Franc, Petit Verdot, mixed into what they say is just Merlot or Cabernet. They're all going to be blended. And why not? Why have a Bordeaux blend from America when you could just go drink a Bordeaux for $15 and have a Merlot? If you like a Merlot, taste it. There are some 100% Merlots that you can taste for very affordable prices, and that you can taste a very large percentage of Merlots, more than you're getting in California from Bordeaux. There. If you like I said, if you like Pinot Gris, why go to the Italian Pinot Grigio section or the American Pinot Grigio section or the New Zealand Pinot Gris? We have Pinot Gris from New Zealand, which is wonderful, but why not actually taste the original Pinot Gris? The Pinot Gris from Alsace, France, Alsatian grapes like that, on the border of France and Germany. And if you decide you like that style, maybe go on to an Oregon Pinot Gris, which makes it in the Alsatian style, and then see what Pinot Grigio tastes like, completely different when it's made in Italy. So that's my advice. And again, hopefully you had a great Valentine's Day. And remember, you can always hit me up with questions and ask you where I can find or what section I should be looking in for a specific grape and where I should start off with. Now, so if you want a Malbec, no, do not have a Malbec from Argentina before you've tried the original Malbec from the southwest part of France. See, and most people never even make it after that to the Argentinian section. They want to stick right with Malbec, but then you can tell the different variations of Malbec once you could use the barometer of the bases. Hit me up on my website. I will be glad to answer all your questions. And remember, wine is not for snobs. This isn't meant to be snobby. This is supposed to simplify what I wanted you to do. Wine is not for snobs. It's for everyday people like you and me, and for people who want to try the originals before advancing to other countries of the same grape. Start with the French stuff. Most of them is where you're going to wind up getting them. See you next time here.